These are just lovely. So we're making these little beautiful paper cherry blossoms. And this again is a 2-part activity. The first part of the activity can be very child friendly. The second part is a little more adult centered. So again, I love when we can create something with our children. Everything doesn't have to be fully child independent for it to be nourishing for the child. So this is one that you can work with your child to create something that you both can enjoy. They're so pretty. They last, of course, all season. So it feels like you can just get cherry blossoms all year round. They're so pretty. So you'll see our first steps here, and the first day, your end goal is this little stack of tissue paper. So you'll take some tissue paper, cut out a little shape of cherry blossoms. I do have some tips on how you can cut that out, again in bulk, so we have lots here. And then we have a stack of tissue paper, and you get to just use your red mixed, like diluted watercolor, and if you just do a dot in the middle, the color will just kind of begin to spread and it'll soak through. You can flip it over and do both sides, but you just want a little bit of that red to just go through, and of course then it'll become this beautiful pink, and you have still a little bit of white on the ends, and it's just really lovely. So the children can really enjoy this part because they can just paint and it just goes and it's really, really lovely. And then you're gonna set this aside for day 2. So this is step 1. I'm gonna go ahead and just finish this part here so you can see how it comes together. The second step is going to be your day 2 morning activity, where you pull this together to create this beautiful thing. But I'm just gonna finish this activity so you can really see how it comes together, and then I'll go on with the other activities. So part 1 of the paper cherry blossoms is you make this little cherry blossom shape. Get your watercolor and get that there. And then part 2, now this is kind of the trickier part. So the way you want to get these on here is you're going to take your kind of fabric or wrapped floral wires, what I have here. I use this for a lot of things, all right? So you're gonna take some, here's my end. You're gonna take some floral wire, and this is gonna become one of your branches, all right? Then you're gonna take one of these wool sheets, and you can use your pinky or you can use a little child's finger, and you're gonna put it over the top and just pinch it down, okay? So we're kind of just doing this to the flower, boop, and then you're gonna take this like this and pinch it and begin to kind of twist and pinch the end. So what you want, now we can switch top down here, what you want is this little pinched end here that you can grab, okay? And at first you're just gonna keep your petals all like this and just kind of twist so you have a nice kind of grabbing point for your wire. Then we're gonna take this wire and we are just going to do a fold. So we're gonna put it over and just fold it over and pinch that. Okay, so you can see how that just pinched that end and now it's already pretty secure. Then we're gonna fold it over again and pinch again. And we're just gonna repeat until this feels pretty secure, and then you can start to really try to wrap it around if you can. But the trick is to do those 2 kind of flat folds and pinches to get that really secure on there. And then of course you can continue to wrap it around as many times as you're able to really get that secure, all right? And of course that just came off. So they do come off easily, so let me show you that again. The more you pinch, and you might wanna start even further. So I'll do that again to make it hopefully a little more secure this time. Fold it and just pinch it flat, just like that, and then pinch it over again. And then you can repeat a few times, and then there you go. Then the final step is you're gonna turn it and you're gonna gently just begin to open up your petals, find those petals, and really then kind of find your flower. And this kind of takes a little bit of care and takes a little time to just open up. So here's a little petal that I'm gonna open up here and just kind of fluff it. And then as you repeat, you can beautifully weave these together. So Nathaniel did this, of course, and it's stunning. So you can see here how these are woven together. I'm not sure. Okay, I'll do it this way. How these are woven together, so you can weave together and kind of twist together a few strands of these, and then take a twisted strand into another twisted strand to really create a beautiful branch. So you'll want to repeat this a few times on each individual little stem, and then once you get another one, you can twist those together. I thought I had, do I have one more here? No, I thought I had another one. Anyways, so start with one, do a few more, and then when you twist them together is really when you get this beautiful, beautiful branch, beautiful tree. So yes, we're not surprised Nathaniel did this. Clusters of 3 or 4, says Nathaniel, if you want to get it to look like this. So the trick is get that shape, get that little point, and fold that over, and then you'll get your little cherry blossoms. They're lovely. All right, any questions on that? I know there's a few tricky little things there. Hopefully I didn't ramble too much, but they're lovely. All right, so that is split into 2 activities, your morning activity of day 1 and day 2. All right, then our main lesson, we're back to day 1. So main lesson for day 1 is flower potting. So head to the garden store, get whatever flowers you can. I do love doing actually like bulbed flowers instead of cut flowers. So daffodils, crocuses, things that you can pot or plant in directly in the garden, depending again on your zone. In where we live, and for our little classroom, I would put them in little pots and then send them home with the kids to then plant in their own gardens. So it's your choice if you want to put them in pots, or you could put them directly in your gardens, but get the kids planting flowers to some degree as you're able, depending on what you have around in your area. Of course, everyone's gonna have different flowers available in every different climate.